Hello students, very good morning to you. I am Niranjan Das. Welcome to once again to my online class. Well students, in the previous class we discussed on the poem 9 gold medals of class 9th. Today I have come with the next part of this poem. In the previous class we discussed on only two stanzas of the poem. Now let's see what happened in the third stanza. The blocks were all lined up for those who would use them, the 100-yard dash and the race to be run. These were 9 resolved athletes in back of the starting line, poised for the sound of the gun. Well, students, in the first and second stanzas, we discussed that the runners, the athletes who had come from all over the country to take part in a special Olympic Games, having made weeks and months of hard work and hard training, and they had in their mind to win the competition and to get the medals. And the spectators who gathered around the whole field to watch and enjoy the events and as well as to cheer the athletes. In the third stanza, the poet says about the arrangement of the final event, for which there was a lot of enthusiasm, eagerness, and excitement in the spectators. The blocks were all lined up. Blocks, the starting point, the starting line, that is the runners, two starting blocks on the ground that runners push their feet against it. That is the beginning of a race. They're all lined up. They're all fixed for the runners. The 100-yard dash and the race to be run. It was the final event of the day, a running race, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash run. These were 9 resolved athletes in back of the starting line. You see how the poet describes the athletes as resolved athletes. What is resolved? Resolved means determined. All the athletes, they had come to take part in the event, having made a firm decision, resolution in their mind to perform their best in the field and to win the medals. So the poet very rightly says these were 9 resolved athletes. They were all ready. They were all standing in back of the starting line, post for the sound of the gun. Post means ready. All the athletes were almost ready for the sound of the gun. Here the sound of the gun refers to the signal of the starting of the event. So the sound of the gun here refers to or indicates the signal of the race, and all the 9 athletes, they are almost ready in the back of the starting line, and they were very anxiously waiting for the signal, that is the pistol for the sound of the gun. Pistol for the sound of the gun means the signal to be given by exploding the pistol. Okay, this is all about the third stanza. Then come to the fourth stanza. The signal was given, the pistol exploded, and so did the runners all charging ahead. But the smallest among them stumbled and staggered and fell to the asphalt instead. What happens then? The signal was given with the explosion of the pistol. That means the signal was given. It was the time for the runners to start their race. And as soon as the signal was given, as soon as the pistol exploded, all the athletes, all the runners were almost ready. They started running. All charging ahead means they started their race. But after a few moments, some mishap occurred. The smallest among them, the youngest of those 9 athletes, he unfortunately stumbled. Stumbled means hit his feet against something in the field while running. Okay, and staggered. Staggered means lost the balance of his body. So what happened then? This was actually really a mishap, unfortunate thing for the runner, and he, losing the balance of his body, he fell down and fell to the asphalt instead. Asphalt means the pitch, the floor, the ground where the runners uh, were running. The athlete, the smallest one, stumbled, lost the balance of his body, and fell to the ground. Okay, so then let's see in the fifth stanza what happens. He gave out a cry in frustration and anguish. His dream and his efforts all dashed in the dirt. But as sure as I am standing here telling this story, the same goes for what next occurred. So you see, students, when the youngest of the athletes fell, unfortunately, while running, what happened? He gave out a cry, sharp cry, out of frustration and anguish. Frustration means state of hopelessness. He lost all his hopes, all his dreams, and all his determination, his hard work, his hard training, all everything dashed in the dirt, was spoiled in a moment. Okay, that means he had no hope of winning the competition anymore or getting the medals. So out of frustration and anguish, anguish means severe, terrible mental pain. Okay, his dreams and his efforts all dashed in the dirt. His dreams of winning the competition, getting gold medals, and all his efforts, everything else was ruined, was spoiled. That is all dashed in the dirt means everything was spoiled, was destroyed. in a moment. So, this made the youngest athlete give out sharp cry out of frustration, out of hopelessness, and severe mental suffering and pain. But the poet says, he's there standing to tell the story what really happened then. What happened after then was the central idea of this poem. Students, this poem, the nine gold medals, how the nine differently abled athletes performed some masterly performance in the field, and how they gave priority to fellow feeling, cooperation, love, affection, collaboration, rather than winning the medals, rather than their personal interest. That's all about this poem, and we shall discuss the next class what happens then and what for masterly performance they performed in the field, and how nine gold medals were given to the nine athletes. We shall discuss in the next class. So it's all over for today. Have a nice day.